fastest field in history here at Michigan.
The Winston Cup cars are incredibly fast this time at the Michigan International Speedway. And that 16 cars broke the track record.
Over 178 miles an hour, Benny, which means that they're running well over 190 miles an hour on the straightaway. There are a number of reasons why they picked up speed this time. One is the racing surface has been improved. The Indy cars ran here last month, and of course the winters are pretty harsh on the pavement here, so the officials had to go in, do a lot of work on the pavement, but it made it a lot smoother, made the cars a lot faster.
And the race cars are faster because NASCAR has mandated that the cars have a side window in the right side. That's making the car more aerodynamic. Another thing, the drivers have found that maybe a short track car works a little bit better here than a super speedway car.
And that's a little surprising, too, at the speeds they run here. But the fact that the turns are so long and the banking is only 18 degrees, I can see where a short track car would work well.
Well, our pole sitter, John Kernan, has he got a short track car or a long track car?
Well, Benny, Alan Kulwicki has got a super speedway car. That's what he told me just a few moments ago. You know, Mark Martin, who's starting on the outside of row one, and Kulwicki, who staged some amazing battles for the pole in the past couple of years. And this has got to be the best one. Kulwicki winning the pole by only 1/1000th of a second. That's faster than you can snap your fingers. And speaking of Kulwicki, he could become the man to beat for the Winston Cup. He stands third right now, 94 points out of first place. And he's coming up on a stretch of races, Bob, that he always does very well. So Alan could be the man to beat, not only today, but for the rest of the year.
Well, it was Alan Kulwicki's 21st career pole in 192 starts. His last pole was in April at North Wilkesboro. This is the 15th Super Speedway pole and the first on the Super Speedway in 1992. We're getting set for Speed World coverage of the Champion Spark Plug 400, brought to you by Champion Spark Plugs, the world's #1 selling spark plug, no matter what you drive. By Valvoline, people who know use Valvoline. And by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer, we build excitement. A look at the 41-car starting field and Michigan International in detail in just a moment when we return.
If you've got a lot of house to cover on a limited budget, get to Sears Whole House Paint Sale. Pick up Weather Beater exterior flat or Easy Living interior low luster semi-gloss. Your choice, only $12.99 a gallon. And Easy Living flat or soft white ceiling paint, both only $10.99 a gallon. So get to the Whole House Paint Sale today and save money at Sears.
You can count on me, Sears Roebuck and Company.
ESPN Speed World coverage of the Champion Spark Plug 400 from Michigan International Speedway coming up. And the exciting Gillette Halfway Challenge is coming up in today's race, where the driver leading at the halfway point will win $10,000, and a fan at home will have a chance to win a beautiful Chevrolet Lumina Z34. If you have entered the contest for this race and your entry is selected and you're called at home, you can have to name the driver who won the Gillette Halfway Challenge to win the Chevrolet. Now, if you want to enter the contest for our next event, which is coming up in a couple of weeks at Bristol, we must have your entry by the day before the event. Write us at Gillette Halfway Challenge, Post Office Box 2246, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33731 2246. You must be 18 years of age or older to enter. You must receive your entry by the day before that event to be eligible for the Gillette Halfway Challenge. Now, let's take a look at the die-hard starting lineup for today's event. On the pole, new track record, 178.196 is Alan Kulwicki from Greenfield, Wisconsin, in the Hooters Ford Car 7. Then Mark Martin from Batesville, Arkansas, in the Valvoline Ford Car number 6. Starting in third position is Davey Allison from Hueytown, Alabama, driving the number 28 Texaco Haviland Ford. Next to him is Ken Schrader, the best of the General Motors products, Benton, Missouri driver, the number 25 Kodiak Chevrolet. In row number 3, it's Ernie Irvin from Modesto, California, in the Kodak Film Chevrolet, car number 4. Alongside will be Conroe, North Carolina's Morgan Shepherd, driving the number 21 Citgo Ford. Starting in 7th position is Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia, the winningest active driver at this track, in the Budweiser Ford number 11. And then his teammate Sterling Marlin from Columbia, Tennessee, driving the number 22 Maxwell House Coffee Ford. Then Darrell Waltrip starts in 9th position in the Western Auto Chevrolet car number 17. Brett Bodine starts in 10th position in the Quaker State Ford number 26. In the 7th row, Terry Labonte and the defending champion Dale Jarrett. The 8th row, Kyle Petty and Bobby Hamilton, as you see Dale Earnhardt going down pit road. The 9th row, Derek Cope and Dick Trickle. 10th row, Jimmy Hensley and Hud Strickland driving a Ford. In row 11, it's Richard Petty and Jimmy Horton. 12th row, Stanley Smith and Harry Gant. Row number 13 is Greg Saxon, Michael Waltrip. 14th row, Wally Dallenbach and Rick Mast. In row number 15, it's Dave Marcus and Bobby Hillen. Chad Little and Eddie Bierschwale make up row number 16. In 17th row, Rusty Wallace and Lake Speed, Ted Musgrave and Jeff Purvis in row number 18. The 19th row, Jimmy Means and Stan Fox. In the 20th row is Jeff McClure and Mike Potter. And starting in 41st position, row number 21 is Dale Earnhardt. And that's because he failed technical inspection after the second round of qualifying yesterday, putting him to the back of the pack.
You know, Childress, Earnhardt, and that crew think of everything. He started 41st. He can't go any further back, so he stops after running one parade lap to put in a splash of gas.
And get a little TV time.
And get a little TV time.
And Jerry Punch is right there.
And that's exactly right, Benny Parsons. You hit the nail on the head. They figured that warming the engine up after it was loaded full this morning. They changed the engine, by the way, just before they put the car on the starting grid. Uses almost a gallon of fuel, so what do you have to lose? You're starting 41st, come top it off. You got 22 gallons to take the green flag. That may be an advantage if you have to run a long green flag effort on the track. So, nothing to lose for the Earnhardt team.
Just about to go racing here at Michigan International for 200 laps, 400 miles. Boy, you can't get many more people in here. A tremendous crowd on hand, and they are ready for an afternoon of NASCAR Winston Cup racing. So are we. We hope you are too. The green flag flies, and we're underway.
Those cars are still 1/1000th of a second apart. Kowicki wins the lap back to the start-finish line for the first lap.
But about a half a car length over Mark Martin as Davey Allison works to the inside of Ernie Irvin. Now Irvin has third position, and this is the shot from Mark Martin's car, running in second position right behind the Hooters Ford of leader Alan Kowicki. And the telemetry will show you the speed and the RPM on the car.
Down the back straightaway, which is probably a little bit slower, 190 miles per hour.
Yeah, the front straightaway it's not really a straightaway. The tri-oval here in the front is normally a little bit faster than the back, so we'll see how much speed he does get. I predict it's going to be upwards of 195 or so, Bob.
94, 97 miles an hour. I saw 98.
Yeah.
Wow. So Alan Kowicki is your leader. Mark Martin running in second position. Davey Allison has moved to third. And the battle for fourth position is side by side. Bill Elliott to the inside, and that's Ernie Irvin to the outside.
Looks like Irvin's car is pushing early on. I saw him up in turn 4 the last lap going extremely high. Let's see if he can hold the car down this time. Oh, boy, that was close between 22 and 25. Ball on the inside and Schrader on the outside.
Also in this pack, Darrell Waltrip and others as once again we go inside. Morgan Shepherd, Sitco Ford, and the battle is right in front of him. Terry Labonte beside him now. Ricky Rudd moving along beside Morgan Shepherd.
Now, drafting is such a key factor on this racetrack because of the speeds that we saw on Mark Martin's car there a moment ago. And getting a good drafting partner is important. Maybe not quite as much so as Daytona and Talladega, but it's very important here.
King Richard Petty in his final start at Michigan International Speedway began from the 21st position, qualifying at 175.725 miles an hour.
Brett Bodine going back with the car number 26, and Jeff Bodine also having a little bit of trouble. He's going back. Brett caught up in that outside lane. His car just doesn't seem to work up there. He's in the green Quaker State Ford, number 26.
And the car right behind Richard is Bobby Hamilton, car number 68, and it is a Ford this week.
Morgan Shepherd trying to get on the inside of Ricky Rudd. He looks like he's got the spot made. Here comes Dale Jarrett trying to follow him. Morgan gets by, but Jarrett not able to draft along past Rudd.
There he goes on in the turn, and it looks like he's got...
Oh, Hamilton is spinning.
And Jeff Bodine spins. Ooh, some heavy contact behind them.
Is that more? That's Greg Sachs' car, I believe.
3 cars involved in a crash on lap number 5 here at Michigan. There's Greg Sachs. He made hard contact with the outside wall after he was pinned up there. He appears to be able to make it to pit road, however, but 2 other cars, Jeff Bodine and Bobby Hamilton. I guess Hamilton continued on around. Jeff Bodine is against the wall in turn 4, and here it is again.
We see Hamilton go in the corner, and a car on the outside of him takes some of the air off, and around he goes. I guess that was Brett Bodine. Now Jeff spins, and that was Sachs that hit Jeff Bodine.
Yeah, Jeff spun right up in front of Greg Sachs. Greg had nowhere to go. And we'll look at it again. You see the green car on the right of your screen, and that is Bobby Hamilton. The back end just gets loose. It looked like Harry Gant going by up on the outside, or it's a green car at least, and Jeff Bodine spins and then shoots up the track into Greg Sachs.
And we see all those cars going by on the inside. Now Hamilton probably didn't get a lot of damage.
He probably had the least damage of all. He continued on.
There's Jeff Bodine walking back to the pits. Tough break for him.
Boy, it has been a tough season for Jeff this year in the Motorcraft Ford. So the caution is out at Michigan International after a 3-car accident between turns 3 and 4 on lap number 5. We'll be back with more of our live coverage in a moment.
A noble warrior advised, the art of protection springs from within. One must stay vigilant against one's unflagrant perspiration, lest one provoke a hostile response. Thus, a Norse ritual is Right Guard Sport Stick, an aromatic array of the freshest scents and maximum protection against disarming wetness. Confirming the wisdom, the best defense is not to offend. Right Guard Sport Stick. Anything less will be uncivilized.
Richard Petty, the only driver ever to win 200 Winston Cup races, all on champion spark plugs.
Jerry, your help out here really does make a difference in the way I run.
Well, Richard, this is our testing ground. It makes a difference in the way we build our spark plugs, too.
They work for me in both my cars, whether I'm racing or going home. I depend on champion spark plugs.
Save up to $2.80 by mail-in rebate on champion spark plugs at your local Pronto Auto Parts stores.
Mark and my relationship goes way past business. I'm sure in a previous life, he and I were twin brothers. Throughout the race, the driver and crew chief communicate. The driver complains about the car or brags about the car. It's the crew chief's job on pit stops to make whatever fixes he can to help the driver's predicament. Everyone has about the same access to equipment and technology, but the people who rub on it the most and think the most of it and think about it the most will end up winning the race.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. The Champion Spark Plug 400 under caution because of a 3-car accident, and one of the ones suffering the most damage, Jeff Bodine in Motorcraft Ford. His car still against the wall in turn number 4. Bobby Hamilton's car sustained damage, and so did this one, Greg Sachs. He has taken it behind the wall. Bobby Hamilton was the one to originally get sideways. Was there contact?
I don't know. If the green car behind looks like Brett Bodine, I don't know if there was any contact or not. Well, he could have just had taken the air off the rear spoiler, and around went Hamilton, and so that leaves Sachs and Jeff Bodine no place to go. They meet nose to nose, and we can see the result of their meeting, the Ford and Chevrolet. That cornflakes box is
crinkled, huh?
Looks like it's been run over by a truck.
Jerry Punch is in the Jeff Bodine pit.
We're with Greg Moore, who's the son of Carl owner Bud Moore. And Greg, what is Jeff said? First of all, is he okay?
Oh yeah, Jeff's okay and everything. A little aggravated. Apparently a car got sideways in front of him, and then another car hit him from the rear. I don't know, there's a lot of jockeying around going on right there at the first part of the race, and people getting 3 wide. So I guess some people just got a little anxious. So, you know, it looks like we're done for the day unless we fix it.
What about a damage report on the car? What has Jeff said?
I don't know, Jeff thought like we were out, but we're going to look at it. If it can be fixed, you know, we salvage a few points, we may do it. We've had a lot of bad luck here the past 3 or 4 races. Cars been running good, been competitive. We just can't have no luck, so we're not really in the points thing that much anymore. We'll take a look at it, though.
Greg, thank you very much. Let's go up to John Kernan and let's report on Greg Sachs. John?
Jerry, Greg's car looks like it's pretty much out of it. A lot of damage here on the front. They've got a broken tie rod on the right front suspension. Radiator's been pushed back. The Kellogg's Cornflakes crew is looking it over. They don't think that they're going to be able to get it fixed to go back out and race. Greg has been taken to the infield care center. He's not hurt badly other than the fact that he bit his tongue, and they wanted to go check that out. Other than that, Greg gave me the thumbs-up sign that he's okay. He just bit his tongue and not feeling real well right now, as you might imagine.
And the car badly damaged. And here's an interesting piece of numerology. Yesterday, Todd Bodine drove to victory in the Busch Grand National race here, starting in 12th position. Jeff was hoping that there would be his same luck because he started 12th in this race. But you can see that Jeff Bodine's race, if it isn't over, it's essentially through as far as winning is concerned.
Yeah, don't think there's any chance that he could come back and win.
And we see Mark Martin. We're looking at Mark from inside his car. Gear shift lever in second gear as he rides around the racetrack.
Jimmy Hensley also carrying one of our in-car cameras, the Phillips 66 in-car camera, as he motors around Michigan at reduced speed. Getting set for a restart, but it's going to be a couple of more laps because they're still cleaning up the accident scene in turn number 4. Glad you could be with us. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in southern Michigan. Stay with us for more.
John, how you doing? You know, AutoZone customers are pretty special. I mean, they take great pains in doing a job just right. So they know exactly what they want. That's why we carry so many parts. And also why we price them so low every day of the week. Because you gotta admire a guy who'll tackle a job like putting in a starter, a water pump, a rack and pinion. And you gotta give a guy like that exactly what he wants. The right parts and the right price.
Things are different. The new Pontiac Grand Am proves it. Things are better because no import at its price can match the power of its 16-valve engine and the control of its standard anti-lock brakes. Not Accord, not Camry, no one. In fact, Consumers Digest named Grand Am a Best Buy. Pontiac Grand Am. A new kind of driving excitement.
Thursday nights, ESPN sets them up and knocks them down. Knockdown Thursday, ESPN. This week, get ready to roll at the ABC West Plains Open. Then the truth hurts as Carl the Truth Williams takes on Ossie Ocasio in a heavyweight bout on Top Rank Boxing. Knockdown Thursday, ESPN. Hey!
Michigan International Speedway has always been one of the best for Richard Petty. In the first 7 laps of this race, he moved from 21st to 15th. This is his 48th start. He has 4 wins at this facility. Last one in August of 1981. 19 top 5 finishes. His last top 5 was in August of 82. We had a very interesting start here at Michigan International a few years ago. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
This Richard Petty memory is brought to you by new STP engine treatment. Help stop engine wear before you start.
Daddy, start your engine!
Michigan International Speedway, June 15, 1986. And Father's Day takes on a special meaning to Richard Petty as daughters Sharon, Lisa, and Rebecca help commemorate his 1,000th career start.
It was emotional for me. I told them I was glad I had my sunglasses on where they couldn't see how emotional I got, but I'm not an emotional person, but when your daughters do something like that in front of all the people, and it's, like I say, it's 1,000 start, that was a big, another one of our big days to have them to do something like that. But like I say, they say, Daddy, start your engine, and then they finally let everybody else crank up. I told them they ought to give me a lap or two head start. It'd been better off.
You start it every morning, start after start after start. When most of your oil is still down in a pad, you start metal-to-metal contact. You start engine wear. Now help stop it with the latest breakthrough from STP. New engine treatment. It bonds right to engine parts. Independent tests proved it. Just add a quart at your next oil change and help stop engine wear before you start with new STP engine treatment.
He's Stock Car Racing's all-time winner. He's Stock Car Racing's all-time most popular driver. He's the king, Richard Petty. In this new ESPN home video, The Ride of a Lifetime, Richard Petty and STP, you'll have the chance to come along with me, Dr. Jerry Punch, for a personal visit to Richard's home, and we'll show you classic video footage of Richard's greatest moments. To get your copy, call 1-800-342-3400.
Back at Michigan under caution. And while we are under caution, let's show you our first Napa field summary, how the cars were running under this caution. Several pit stops have been made during this caution period, but we're just about now to get set for more racing.
See, Harry Gant made a pit stop and just put in a splash of gasoline. So I guess these guys are figuring that it might go green for pretty good ways, and they want to get all the gas they can in the car.
Earnhardt came back in, and several other cars. Of course, Bobby Hamilton came in to get his car checked out, and car number 77 with Mike Potter.
Hamilton had minimal damage to his number 68. Terry Cope made a pit stop. He had a fender rubbing. He's okay, and the green flag is back out. Ernie Irvin making a move on Davey Allison as they head for turn 1. Ernie's got Davey, and he's also got second as he passed Mark Martin like he was tied to a post, and now set sail for Alan Kulwicki. How about that?
Wow, did he have some momentum when he got past the start-finish line?
Man. And we're talking about, always talking about Dale Earnhardt, what a great start he gets. Well, looks like Irvin is trying to copy Earnhardt. It was a fabulous start.
Here's Morgan Shepherd trying to move on the inside of Darrell Waltrip. Ooh, 3 abreast. Hutch Strickland driving the Ford here for the first time. Backs off as Ricky Rudd back up on the outside of Dale Jarrett. Jarrett had just passed him before the caution came out.
This track is 73 feet wide in the corners, and that's one reason why we see 3, 4, and sometimes even 5 abreast racing at this facility. Now Kyle Petty moving inside of Ricky Rudd.
Kyle lost a few positions on the start there. He was up in front of Morgan Shepherd before the caution came out, and during the caution, but he lost a little bit there on the start. Ricky Rudd's car looks like it's washing up a little bit in the turns, having a hard time keeping it down on the bottom of the racetrack.
All passing the 77 driven by Mike Potter.
Now, Davey Allison is a guy who lost him on this restart. He was running third when he threw the green. He's back about 7th or 8th already. So, I don't know what his problem could be.
Bud Strickland in the Ford, as Ned said, and there's our winner from last week, the rain-shortened Watkins Glen Budweiser with the Glen, Kyle Petty, coming up on Ricky Rudd, who slides up the racetrack.
Yeah, Rudd's been doing that on almost every corner. The Tide Chevrolet just not staying down quite as well as he would like for it to.
Richard Petty coming along right behind.
Davey Allison.
Yeah, he has slipped back. He's back to 6th position now. Coming back a little bit as he's moving alongside now Ken Schrader in the 25 Kodiak Chevy.
He must have missed a shift or something on the start of the race. You know, his right hand, his shifted hand is the one that has all the injuries, so maybe he has some trouble shifting the car. Jerry Punt, do you know anything about what happened to Davey?
Yeah, we do, Benny. When they gave the green flag for the restart, Davey radioed his crew. He thought he had a flat tire. Apparently, he had some rubber buildup on that radial tire, and the car got real loosely backed down to the gas. But now the car seems to be okay. In fact, Mark Martin radioed the same thing to his Jack Roush team. Thought he had a flat. So apparently, both those guys backed out a little bit, and that was a break for Ernie Irvin.
And Mark Martin is back on the gas because he's pulled alongside Ernie Irvin in the battle for 2nd position, and Mark gets it as they come off the 4th turn and onto the trioval. Martin 2nd, Irvin 3rd. Alan Kulwicki is the leader of the race.
Look at Mark Martin pull away from Ernie about 2 car lengths in that corner.
Yeah, didn't have much problem passing him, and once he did pass him, he's starting to drive away a little bit. Of course, Alan Kulwicki's got himself a pretty good lead out there at the moment, but look at Richard Petty coming up through the pack.
He has had some fine performances at this racetrack in his late career. And he is turning in a good performance here in the first 15 laps of this event.
He's able to run right on the bottom of the racetrack.
And he is up to 13th position, Jerry.
Bobby Loomis told me, the crew chief, that you got to watch us on Sunday. He said we have a brand new race car for Michigan. And on top of the new race car, our engine man, Bob Ripple, who they've nicknamed Mr. Torque, has put one dynamite motor. So we're going to be a factor if we can stay out there all afternoon.
Well, wouldn't it be interesting if he gets his 201st win at the track that he started his 1,000th race? It's Michigan International.
We're too high for that, Bob.
Why?
Well, I think the people's going to tear the grandstands down, and we're sitting up on top of them, so we're in big trouble if he wins this race.
We'll have to jump off the back.
He was running well.
He is. Petty Rudd there, 13th and 14th. Rick Mast is coming up on Terry Labonte. Mast working the low group. And ahead of Petty is Kyle and Hutt. They're side by side. And right ahead of him, the defending champion, Dale Jarrett, who was driving the car that's right beside him that's being driven this year by Morgan Shepherd, or at least the same team.
I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't the same car, Bob.
Could be.
I don't know if they crashed that car anytime after that or not, but it's washing up a little bit in the turns, and Jarrett looks like gets the measure of him this time coming off the turn and makes the pass.
Great in-car shot from Morgan Shepherd, and we go down to Jerry Punch once again.
Just to answer your question about that 21 car, I asked Eddie Woods, is this the same car that Dale Jarrett won with last year? He said, no. As a matter of fact, that car was destroyed in the Winston when Dale Jarrett spun and Morgan tagged him. He said, so Dale took care of that car for us. For a lap.
Ned, you won't ask the question anymore, will you? No.
Bud Strickland, car number 12. Kyle Petty as we move our camera through the field and catch up with the leader.
It looks like Mark Martin's also catching up with the leader.
Yeah, he is. He's within 3-4 car lengths now. Another good in-car shot from Mark Martin as we watch his pursuit of the leader, Alan Kowicki, completing lap number 19.
Is this a roof cam? This is the camera on top of the roof.
I think it's... And here is a battle right behind him between Darrell Waltrip and Ken Schrader. A couple of Chevys going at it.
You know, Darrell Waltrip had a great run here in June, finished second to Davey Allison. Had a good qualifying run here for the Champion Spark Plug 400, qualified in 9th position.
And John Kernan has a comment on Darrell Waltrip.
Guys, you want to talk confidence. I don't think there was a more confident team than Darrell Waltrip's Westernado Chevrolet crew this whole weekend. Talking with them this morning, they said they only ran 12 laps under speed during practice and qualifying this whole weekend. They said they hadn't changed a thing from their second place run back in June. Say Darrell's plan, simple, just as usual. Hang in there, hang in there. Last 100 miles, that's when he's going to try and make his move toward the front.
He's in 8th position right now. About a half a straightaway behind the leader in pursuit of Ken Schrader.
At this racetrack, as long as you can see the leaders, you know, when you come off the second corner and look towards turn 3, as long as you can see the leaders, you have confidence you can win the race. When they get out of sight, you feel like you're going to lose, and normally you are.
Davey Allison and Bill Elliott are wheel to wheel for 4th position.
Davey dropped back to 7th on the restart, but has gradually worked his way back up, trying to take over 4th.
We haven't even heard Davey mention relief drivers so far since we've been here, but Jim Sauter is the selected driver if Davey would have to relinquish the car to someone else, but he is in 5th position at the moment. Up front, it is still Kowicki, and now the interval between himself and Mark Martin is less than 2 car lengths. And a car going very slowly down the backstretch is Jimmy Horton.
He blew down in 1 and 2, Bob. I saw him just a moment ago, smoke, and he's down on the inside of the racetrack. It looks like that it's over for the day. And looky here, comes Mark Martin right on the back bumper now of this Hooters Ford.
Backstretch is 2,242 feet long, and it's 5 degrees of banking. And that's where Martin is pursuing Kowicki at this moment, now into the 18-degree banking of turn number 3.
Here, Mark Martin's car started to push a little bit. He had to get out of the gas to make it turn.
Now in front of this sold-out grandstand. They sold out of tickets last week for this event, and anybody that came today had to take an infield spot, and that is, for the most part, filled. 23 laps have been completed here at Michigan International. Kowicki, Martin, Urban, Elliott, and Davey Allison in the top 5. 6 through 10, Marlin, Waltrip, Schrader, Jarrett, and Shepherd.
Speeds in excess of 140 miles per hour on the water. Coming to Hampton's Mill Creek, Fort Monroe area, the 66th Annual Hampton Cup, the 1992 Summer Nationals. See 9 classes of hydroplanes and runabouts. Compete on a 1.25 mile course. See defending national and high point champions from across the U.S. and Canada. 3 days, August 21st through the 23rd. Noon to 5 each day. Admission is free. The Hampton Cup, sponsored by Fridays on the Bay, Budweiser, and All Point National Bank.
Isn't that a lot better than looking at a bunch of mechanics?
Detroit Lions. Barry Sanders strives to restore the roar. The Buffalo Bills. Thurman Thomas leads the way in a battle between the best backs in the game. The Lions beat the Bills Monday night live on ESPN.
ESPN's annual visit to Michigan International Speedway near Brooklyn for the Champion Spark Plug 400. And a great battle up front as Martin mounted a challenge against Alan Kowicki there, but he could not pull off the pass, and so Kowicki maintains the lead.
He got a nose under him, Bob, but he just couldn't make it work.
And another Napa field summary for you. This is how the field was running last lap. ESPN's signal is being carried internationally today, and we'd like to welcome everyone watching on Sky Sport in the United Kingdom. Sky Sports, we should say. And we welcome you to our coverage. Hope you enjoy NASCAR Winston Cup racing, watching us from the United Kingdom.
When you say United Kingdom, where is that, England or is that the world? Or
that's
what?
the whole big thing over there in England.
Oh, I understand that Benny Parsons is very popular over there.
In fact, they've even asked for an autograph session. Yeah. So, yeah, and a big meal. Does that sound more attractive?
I could go have tea and crumpets with the Queen, no problem.
What's a crumpet?
I don't know. I've heard of them, though, and if it's something to eat, believe me, I'll try it.
Now the first four begin to close in on each other. Ernie Irvin in third and Davey Allison in...
Bill Elliott.
Bill Elliott, I should say, in fourth position, have closed in on Martin and Kowicki.
They indeed have. I'll tell you, now is the time, Bob, when you can tell how the cars are handling. They've run 27 laps. They're working the 28th lap right now, and about more than 20 of those have been under the green flag. And the tires are really heated up. This is when you can tell whether a car is really working or not. And we see some out there that are not. I mean, not that these up front here, they seem to be doing okay. But there are a few of them, maybe like Dale Earnhardt. He's not doing too well. He started way back in the back, and he's still way back in the back.
Yeah, he started 41st, and he's 26. He's been in the pits a couple of times. Again, he was relegated to the back of the pack because in second-round qualifying yesterday, although he was the quickest, his speed was disallowed because the car was too low. It failed post-qualifying technical inspection, and so he went to the rear of the field.
But there's one car that's moving along pretty well, Bob, and that is as we see Earnhardt going very high, Kyle Petty in the mellow yellow Pontiac is coming up through the field. Watch him go under Ken Schrader. Schrader was passed by Darrell Waltrip a few laps ago, and now Kyle just drives down under him and drives right on by.
He picks up 8th position.
Kyle's car is working wonderfully on the low side of the racetrack. All these other guys going in the corner and pushing up or going to the top of the racetrack. He's able to run on the bottom of the racetrack, which obviously is a short way around. Watch as he goes low and Schrader way up on the top of the racetrack.
Yeah, now Dale Jarrett gets under Schrader as well. Now, while they run side by side, Kyle Petty will probably pull away from him.
So Dale Jarrett looking for 9th spot here, pulling alongside Ken Schrader at the end of the backstretch. Turn 3.
Let's see if he can make the thing stick on the bottom of the racetrack like Kyle Petty did.
Not nearly as well as Kyle did. Kyle just was able to get on the gas full throttle coming off of that turn and just drove right on by Schrader.
Now he moves ahead of him slightly at the line.
Well, he knows how to do that part.
He learned that lesson last year.
They're wheel to wheel, Bob.
Yeah, they are.
Remember last year when that last lap was wheel to wheel rubbing and you got excited, didn't you?
Oh, not very, no. Well, if they touch, I don't know what I said.
Well, they're costing both of themselves some time by running side by side here. Of course, they're racers. That's what they're doing. They're racing. But they are losing some time by doing it.
Yeah.
Now, Dale drove in a little hard that time and made it stick, so it made the pass stick.
finished 9th. Ken Schrader 10th.
You can see that. Oh, we get a shot of the right window that's in the car. We saw it in Kawicki's car at the top of the show. The first race that they've had to run the window in the right side of the race cars here at the Michigan International Speedway.
We talked about Dale Earnhardt and the fact that he isn't moving up very quickly. Jerry, what's the status?
He has been slowing the last couple laps. We'll check in with Kurt Shelverdine. Kurt, what's the problem with the car?
Dale thinks he might have a flat, Jerry. He's not exactly sure which one. It's probably the left side, you know, if you can't tell exactly which end of the car it is. But we may have a slow leak, and we're just trying to see.
Car very unstable. Dale complaining if he's having to basically battle a bucking Bronco out there. He'll try to hold on for another 8 or 10 laps for their first scheduled pit stop. All right?
Now Dale moves up on the racetrack alongside Jimmy Hensley.
Yeah, he's not tiptoeing with that.
No,
thing.
he isn't.
He feels pretty comfortable with it. Driving it in up on the outside.
Stanley Smith just ahead of Dale. Of course, the King just ahead of Stanley.
Richards backed up a little bit from where he was. He really had made a good charge up towards the front, but he dropped back a little bit now.
Yeah, he's back to 23rd. Phillips, 66 in-car camera, and Jimmy Hensley's right in the middle of a pack that's been running together for several laps.
They have. This is the kind of racing that we used to see here at Michigan for the lead. You'd see 8, 10, 12 cars up there dicing it up. But this is back from what, about 12th through 20th? Ooh, man. Earnhardt went through that crowd pretty good.
Sure did. That's Lake Speed there at the back of the pack in the middle alongside
Kenneth Ford.
Yep, Jimmy Hensley and Purvis.
Chad Little driving the 9 car right in front of. That's Lake Speed in front of Hensley. There's the 9 car that you're seeing now. Of Chad Little. Man, what a mess of cars.
That's the kind of a situation you can see an accident. We hope we don't, but when they start jockeying around that much with the tires hot, sometimes the car can slip just a little bit. Earnhardt slips up to the outside. Stanley Smith goes to the inside, and Bobby Hillin.
10 cars battling there, and Mark Martin continues to try to grab the lead away from Alan Kawicki, but he has not done it yet. So that's how they're running up front. Let's go back here and watch this scramble for position. 10 cars battling here. We talked about the United Kingdom. There's the car owned by Team Ireland, Bobby Hillin, at number 31.
And just passing him was the car number 68 of Bobby Hamilton, who is running a Ford here also for the first time. And he spun earlier, but he's working his way back up through there.
And John Kernan is down in King Richard Petty's pit. And as we mentioned, the King is falling back. He's now 29th. John?
Well, Bob, a slight handling problem for Richard Petty. Just talked with Robbie Loomis, the crew chief on that car. He says that the car's picked up a push, and so they're just going to have to ride it out and get the next pit stops on the first round of pit stops. They're going to have to try and make some chassis adjustments, try and loosen that car up just a little bit.
In practice yesterday, I heard more drivers, and I watched a lot of them coming into the garage area. There were more of them complaining about the cars pushing than ever before. Normally on this racetrack, you hear them talk about the car being loose, but the back end is really sticking on them. Then you don't know if it has anything to do with the skirts they're running here, and of course the windows. I don't know if that has tightened the cars up, but that was one complaint they had.
There's so many. When you put that side window in and you lean that car against all that area, certainly you're going to help the car from getting loose. And yeah, these guys really don't know what they have right now. But I know one thing they've got is a lot of speed.
Now, for the fans who wonder what we're talking about, Benny mentioned at the top of the show that they're running the windows, side windows, for the first time here at Michigan. Now, they've been running those at Daytona and Talladega, but the speeds have picked up enough here at Michigan now that they're running the window. You can see it there on the right side, and also they have the little skirts on the bottom of the car in case it gets sideways to keep it from picking up and spinning the wrong way.
Dave Allison's crash at Pocono, I think, was the thing that mandated that, and they just felt that on tracks that do have a lot of speed besides Daytona and Talladega, these skirts and side windows keep the cars on the track a lot more. They have a tendency not to fly when they spin and get air under them. So it's Alan Kawicki leading Mark Martin with 37 of 200 laps completed. ESPN's live coverage of the Champion Spark Plug 400, and we were going to commercial, but we won't because there was action on the racetrack, and Mark Martin touched with Kawicki off of turn number 4, but Mark got the lead.
came off the corner and did a slide job like they talked about on Saturday Night Thunder. The only problem was Kawicki was still there as Martin was sliding up the racetrack. They came off turn 4 and bumped.
Here it is again.
Here we see Martin on the inside. Now, he's got a good head of steam up. He thinks he's going to clear Kawicki because he's on the get. Uh-oh, he got the car a little sideways. Had to go up. And we see Kawicki's car also wiggle. Close call for both those cars.
Well, we didn't want you to miss that pass, so now that Mark has taken the lead and things have settled down just a little bit, we will take another break and be back with more live coverage from Michigan. Mark Martin leads Kawicki, Irvin, Elliott, and Allison.
All the deep-down quality that makes a Buick so enjoyable on a Saturday afternoon is forged in the heat of weekends we spend throughout the year. So while you're considering the ownership of a bright new Buick, rest assured that Buick engineers are out at the nation's racetracks, racing to make your new Buick even better. Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inn just because of the refreshing swimming pool. However, it does create quite a splash. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value. This is La Quinta Inn's new money-saving Super Value Rates coupon. If you can't find one, just tell them you saw it on TV. Call La Quinta and ask for the new Super Value Rates from $34.50.
Top-of-the-line parts, expert advice. That's your Big A Auto Parts store.
Big A, the sign that keeps your car running right.
We welcome you back to Michigan International Speedway. First in a series of pit stops on pit road, Ricky Rudd, Tide Chevrolet. They've changed right side tires, now left side tires. He is down and away. Actually, guys, he pitted about 5 laps earlier than most of the other leaders will pit because he had a handling problem. The car was very, very loose.
Well, he was losing a lot of time on the racetrack, but we'll see that Tide Chevrolet pick up a lot once he gets back out there with those 4 fresh tires on him.
Pit stop came on lap number 41. As Ricky Rudd picks up momentum heading down the backstretch.
We'll see others start coming in. We predicted about lap 45 or so, but we see Dale Jarrett and Ken Schrader slowing down to come into the pits. So they're coming in a little bit earlier than we thought.
9th and 10th place runners are on pit road. Dale Jarrett and Ken Schrader. The 23 car of Eddie Bierschwale also making a pit stop. Slowly down pit road, and Jerry Punch is there to call these 2 stops.
And a pair of Chevrolets pitting nose to tail. Kenny Schrader's Kodiak crew changing right side tires, making a major chassis adjustment to the Schrader car. Likewise, they are going to adjust the chassis there in Dale Jarrett's car. You see Kenny Schrader's crew now. They have changed right side tires. Only 2 tire change for Schrader. He's away, but Dale Jarrett will get all 4 tires on the interstate battery Chevrolet. Likewise, they have made a chassis adjustment on his car. He is down. He smoked the tires, and he's away.
He lit them up coming out of there. Speed limit, by the way, on pit road is 65 miles an hour.
Ned, that's pretty strange. Schrader changing right sides, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I was a little surprised that he only took on the right side. Hud Strickland is in, so is Terry Labonte coming in. Let's see how it works out on the racetrack. Just changing 2 tires for Schrader.
Green flag pit stops being made here. Lap 43. Terry Labonte is coming in. Davey Allison also is on pit road. And let's go to Jerry Punch.
First scheduled stop for the Haviland Ford Thunderbird. Davey Allison brings the car very deliberately down pit road. Remember, the speed is just 65 miles an hour. Davey will bring the car to a halt. And the Robert Yates crew, Larry McReynolds, Ryan Pemberton, and the rest will go to work changing right side tires. Looks like they are going to change only 2 right side tires because track position is very important here. Right side tires going in. It is full of fuel. Allison is away in 12 seconds flat.
Good pit stop for the Haviland Texaco Ford driven by Davey Allison. And now Mark Martin, the leader of the race, comes in.
Sterling Marlin's right behind him, also Kyle Petty, so And how many tires do you think he's going to change? Is he only going to change 2 or 4?
I don't know. I would guess that Martin will change 4, but we'll see.
He stops.
Looks like, no, don't look like they're going to the left side to loosen the lugs. Jerry Punch?
Looks to be only a 2-tire stop as well for the Valvoline crew, Ned. And Benny, Steve Bill with the crew now.
Yeah, but crash in turn 1. Crash in turn 1. Don't know who it is, but he is sliding all over the place and banging into the wall. Looks like it's Stan Fox. Stan, if you saw Saturday Night Thunder last night, and I hope you did, had a frightening accident in a USAC midget at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The car got up on the wall and turned over, came down hard on the roll cage. Stan trying to commute between here and Indianapolis Raceway Park the last couple of days, and now his Winston Cup car has crashed here at Michigan. Now here was the race to the line as the caution came out. Kulwicki and Bill Elliott.
And Bill wanted to get those 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Thought this might be one of his better opportunities. A break for these drivers. Let's see which one is going to get to the line first. They touched there for a little bit.
Wow. Who was it?
Looks like Elliott.
That was close.
Yes, it was.
Here's the line.
No, I think it's Kulwicki. I don't know it is.
Yeah, it's too close to call.
Does that come under too close to call?
I think so.
And
Yes,
guys,
let the NASCAR officials figure that. What a break for those drivers.
I know Stanley Smith doesn't want this publicity, but while we were watching this and the replay, he spun coming off turn 4.
Is that right? There he is in the pit area.
And he made a 360 and came right on down pit road.
Here it is.
There he goes around and around, stops that baby, puts her in gear and goes to the pits.
He aimed to do that, Benny. Come on.
That's a strange entry to pit road, I'll tell you.
Well, but it created some excitement for the fans. Stanley Smith on pit road, still working on the left side of the car.
Good break for those who had not made a pit stop. Bad break for those who had made pit stops, and some of them were lapped down.
And the pace car has not yet picked up the field, so pit road is closed except for those under emergency circumstances.
In the history of Winston Cup racing, there have only been 9 men who have captured the crown. They charge with passion, fury, and determination. Join these champions now as they celebrate the 20th anniversary of Winston Motorsports. Minted in fine silver, this official commemorative coin collection spans the entire history of the Winston Cup Series, from Petty in 71 to Earnhardt in 91. Each coin is beautifully embellished in their likeness with their winning years. Struck and hallmarked in 1 ounce of fine silver, serial numbered and registered in your name. Fans collect all 9 coins and receive this solid cherry display case of $50 value absolutely free. Each individual coin with your favorite champion is just $29.95. To order, call now 1-800-582-5100. Start your commemorative collection today for just $29.95. Fans, call now 1-800-582-5100.
Winston Cup racing. It's been one heck of a ride.
A September to remember on ESPN. All in September on ESPN.
Pit road becomes very busy under this second caution of the day because of an accident up in turn number 1 involving Stan Fox. Alan Kulwicki is in, so is Bill Elliott. Alan on the top and Bill on the bottom as their pit crews work and changing tires on the left side of Elliott, and he's off. Now still working on the left side of Kulwicki's car. Now he begins to pull away. And he's pitted toward turn number 1 at the end of pit road.
So Kulwicki got out first.
Good pit stop by the Hooters crew. Ernie Irvin, meanwhile, had a pretty slow stop. They must have made a chassis adjustment or something because he went in running about 3rd. It looks like he's going to come out running about 5th or 6th.
I can also tell you that Richard Petty got his lap back under that caution. He had just gone a lap down, but got back around the leaders and now is in 21st position, and there are 23 on the lead lap. So we're under caution for the second time this afternoon as pit stops being made, and at 8 o'clock tonight, join us for ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. This week from the south side of Chicago as the Yankees go up against the White Sox from Comiskey Park. Roberto Kelly leads the Yankees against the power of Frank Thomas. John Miller, Joe Morgan with all the action at 8 o'clock tonight. Exclusive coverage on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. 8 o'clock tonight. Under caution here in Michigan. We'll take another break and be back with more of our live coverage of the Champion Spark Plug 400, race number 19 of the season.
Richard Petty, the only driver ever to win 200 Winston Cup races, all on Champion Spark Plugs.
Sure. Your help out here really does make a difference in the way I run.
Well, Richard, this is our testing ground. It makes a difference in the way we build our spark plugs, too.
They work for me in both my cars, whether I'm racing or going home. I depend on Champion Spark Plugs.
Save up to $2.80 by mail-in rebate on Champion Spark Plugs at your local Pronto Auto Parts stores.
Everyone talks about how racing technology makes their street cars better. What they fail to say is whose race technology has won more than anyone else. Chevrolet. The cars more people depend on.
When a muffler goes, some people look for a cheap replacement. They think it costs less. Fact is, they can get a quality Midas muffler starting at $24.95. Fact is, a guaranteed economizer muffler starting at $24.95. Fact is, installed by experts starting at $24.95. So when somebody says they have a cheaper muffler than Midas, they're right. When they say they're better, fact is, they're wrong. Don't believe anybody ever beats Midas.
Have you seen who's been on Speed Week? This week, look for a preview of Sunday's IndyCar race from Road America and all the other news in the world of motorsports. Catch Speed Week this Saturday at a special time, 5:30 Eastern. You've got the need for Speed Week.
And we're looking back at the field from the Pontiac pace car under caution. And once again, today's race includes the Gillette Halfway Challenge contest. $10,000 to the driver leading at the halfway point, and a lucky fan at home could win a new Chevrolet Lumina Z34. If you have entered the contest for this race and your entry is selected and you are called at home, you must name the driver who won the Gillette Halfway Challenge to win the Chevy. Now, if you want to enter our next contest, which will be for the Bud 500 at Bristol, we must have your entry by the 28th. Write to Gillette Halfway Challenge, Post Office Box 2246, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33731-2246. You must be 18 years of age or older, and we must receive your entry by Friday, the 28th, to be eligible for the Gillette Halfway Challenge during the Bud 500 at Bristol International Raceway on Saturday night, the 29th. Ricky Rudd has been in the pits again, now pulling out.
Well, he and the car number 12 of Hut Strickland, the car number 18 of Dale Jarrett, and the car number 25 of Ken Schrader had all made green flag pit stops, and they are a lap down. Schrader is at the tail end of the lead lap. He's right in between the leader, Alan Kowicki, and the pace car, but he only took on 2 tires. Now, we saw Mark Martin and Davey Allison make pit stops as well, but they only changed 2 tires. They were far enough up that they got back out, stayed in the lead lap, so when the caution came out, they were still in the lead lap. Both of them have been back in since to take on left side tires.
Watch for your favorite driver as we once again show you the Napa field summary where they were running last time around. Earnhardt, as you can see, up to 13th now. Richard Petty is 18th.
Showing 22 cars in the lead lap. See Schrader is almost a lap down.
And most of these guys are the victims of making a pit stop and the caution flag coming out just a couple laps later.
That's Jeff McClure in car number 27. Stan Fox just crashed up in turn number 1. That's why we're under caution.
That car number 27, the Race for Life car, Bob, they're running, Jeff McClure is running a sign for 2 young boys down in Morgan, North Carolina, Leon and Danny Crump, who have a rare disease, adrenoleukodystrophy, and they're going to make one of those collector's cars from this car, and it'll be on sale to raise funds for those 2 young boys.
great. And there's been a lot of people trying to raise money for those boys for a couple of years now, Ned.
Danny Crump, their dad, has been involved in racing, worked with Travis Carter quite a bit. There is the car, Race for Life, Jeff McClure.
As strange as it may seem, the disease that these two boys have, there are no government programs for these kids. And it costs to keep them alive. I mean, they're fine, except they just need a shot or medicine. And it's, what, $50,000 or $100,000 a year to do that.
Well, it is. And now Leon needs a bone transplant. So they're waiting for a matchup. Okay, we're ready to go green.
Indeed we are. The pace car has pulled into the pit area, and the green flag flies. We go back to racing on lap number 53. Alan Kulwicki is the leader of the race. Those cars in front of him are now getting back on the lead lap or making up a lap.
Yes, they are. Kulwicki, something wrong.
Way high.
Well, that gave those 4 cars there the opportunity they wanted, and they can get a caution, but Kulwicki, something definitely is wrong, whether he has a flat or what, we don't know.
That car went straight up the banking, and Allen lost several positions. Here comes Ernie Irvin. Look at the tight competition here for Mark Martin's roof cam.
Ooh, Martin slides right up in front of Michael Waltrip's Pennzoil Pontiac. Bill Elliott leads the race, so yeah, he has the 5 bonus points that you get for leading the lap. I think that's one reason Kulwicki was trying to keep Elliott behind him so hard the other time, was trying to keep him from getting those bonus points.
Boy, something's wrong with Kulwicki, because he once again slides up the banking and loses his spot. Here's how it was when the green flag came out, and they began to accelerate into turn number 1, and look at Kulwicki.
He just went straight up the hill. I thought he was going to hit the wall for a second.
Sure, he must have thought he had a flat tire, or tire, maybe just the car didn't feel right to him as he went into that turn. Now, Bill Elliott has passed all of those cars that shot out there in front of him and has put him a lap down. Jerry, what do you know about the Kulwicki situation?
I just spoke to Danny Glad a minute ago, Dad. He said that Alvin hasn't said it's loose or it's tight. He just said the tires aren't exactly what I wanted. He said, I'll get it sorted out. Give me a lap or 2. So the car just slid up across the racetrack when it took the restarts. And give me a couple laps to get the car sorted out, and I'll move back toward the front. But right now, he said, it's not what I wanted. These tires don't feel good to me at all.
Well, Benny, a lot of times during caution periods, it's much warmer here today. Let's qualify that than it has been on Friday when they qualified, and yesterday in their practice runs. And on the caution laps, many times your tires will pick up some rubber that's in the turns, and then when you go into that turn the first time, you don't have full traction of the tire down on the pavement, and it'll give you a weird feeling.
That's right. Sometimes when that buildup on the tire, you only have about 10% of the tread on the racetrack.
Kulwicki has fallen back to 8th position. And it's probably about 10 degrees warmer, although it isn't warm here by any means. Temperature in the mid-70s, but it was in the mid-60s when they qualified on Friday.
That was another reason for the high speeds.
Now there's the 2nd and 3rd place cars of Brett Bodine and Ernie Irvin as Bill Elliott leads this race. Irvin heads up the banking to challenge Brett Bodine and the Quaker State Ford. Brett holds him off for the moment. Waltrip is right behind, so is Sterling Marlin, Bill Elliott, and Rusty Wallace.
Well, Schrader must have had his hands full out there. He just changed 2 tires when he made his pit stop and did not stop under that caution flag.
Now Wallace there at the tail end of that pack is not on the lead lap. Rusty shown in 25th.
He's one of those drivers that have made a pit stop.
Oh, there's Ricky Rudd.
Ricky Rudd is in the wall, and flames are trailing behind the car. Going to bring out our 3rd caution of the day.
Looks like some pretty heavy contact on the right side of that car. He's probably knocked an oil line off, or maybe the fuel pump off the car, and that's the fire that we see. And the fire truck immediately up to the 8 of the Tide Chevrolet.
And no drivers got a lap back as Bill Elliott led everybody back to the line.
And Doyle Ford and assistants trying to get the field slowed down because the fire crew did arrive on the scene.
And Rudd climbs out of the thing. It's like wobbly, but he's...
Yep. Looks like he's okay. Looking back at the car. He, of course, Ricky Rudd won the IROC championship yesterday here at Michigan International, finishing in 2nd position to Al Unser Jr. Ricky picked up $175,000 for being the 1992 IROC champion, but Today's Winston Cup race ends with the number 5 Tide Chevrolet against the wall. You're watching the Champion Spark Plug 400 from Michigan.
Things are different. The new Pontiac Grand Am Sports Sedan proves it. Things are better because this Grand Am offers you the power and performance of a big V6. You'd pay thousands more for a V6 on a Camry, and it's not even an option on an Accord. In fact, Consumers Digest named Grand Am a Best Buy. Pontiac Grand Am, a new kind of driving excitement.
Hey, Mark, what's it like?
What?
Driving one of those souped-up family cars.
I don't think you could handle it, Al. Sometimes we bump into each other.
Yeah, but it's always in slow motion.
Are you going to take that from a guy who can't do anything for more than 5 seconds at a time?
Turn and face your accuser, Joe.
I don't have to turn, man. I'm a drag racer.
And isn't it true that this auto part did, in fact, come from the defendant's car?
Objection. Prosecution is leading the witness.
Overruled. You may answer the question.
This part most definitely came from that car.
And how can you be sure?
I work for Napa Auto Parts. It's my job to be sure.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Napa people are parts experts, so they can answer any question, whatever the case may be.
Champion Spark Plug 400 from Michigan International Speedway, part of ESPN Speed World coverage. Ricky Rudd's car has made contact with the first turn wall. He is out of it and apparently okay. Rudd just made a pit stop not too long ago. Here's Jerry.
And while he was in the pits, guys, they were working beneath the front of the car. And what they were doing was removing this pan from beneath the front air dam area. Now, what happened was, apparently Rudd was complaining of the car being so loose because so much air was being caught by this pan in the front air dam. So what they have done is taken this pan out to hopefully let the front end not be quite so tight and tighten up the rear of the car. But apparently it didn't work because Ricky Rudd had a short afternoon. They have gone back to the garage area to try to repair the car, but this aluminum pan here probably had very little, if anything, to do with that incident over in the turn. Gentlemen?
The car still sitting there. There was some fire that was quickly extinguished. You can see the powder that they used to put out the fire there beneath the car. And now their chore is to get it up on the hook and get it back to the garage area. We're at Michigan International Speedway for NASCAR Winston Cup racing.
What makes a mountain man a mountain man? Let's find out. Must a mountain man be a big burly guy with an axe? A man of steel? Must a mountain man even be a man? Actually, the only requirement is the right beer. Smooth bush beer or easy drinking Busch Light. So, head for the mountains and learn what makes the typical mountain man anything but.
All the deep down quality that makes a Buick so enjoyable on a Saturday afternoon is forged in the heat of weekends we spend throughout the year. So while you're considering the ownership of a bright new Buick, rest assured that Buick engineers are out at the nation's racetracks, racing to make your new Buick even better. Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
The checkered flag is out. Little Al wins by just a few tenths of a second. Perhaps the closest finish in the history of the Indianapolis 500.
There's one battery that backs you with free jumpstart service anywhere for any reason. Die Hard.
Can't believe I left my lights on.
Sears Die Hard. The battery you can count on to give you more power when you need it most.
We're back at Michigan International Speedway. You're looking at Mark Martin under caution, running in 6th position. And Ned, let's see if we can talk to him on the radio.
Mark, this is Ned Jarrett, the ESPN. You read us?
Hey, Ned.
How's it going out there?
Well, it was going pretty good. It was going better until that yellow came out. We got a little bit behind. It's going to take a while to move back up. We've got a real fast car through the corners, but it's pretty hard to pass out here for me right now.
When you made that pass on Alan Kowicki for the lead, it got a little bit hairy there.
Well, I had to take it when I had a shot. That one was going to be real hard to pass. I had a run at him going there, and he saw me coming and kind of gave me enough room. The Valvoline car's strong. I wanted to lead the race when I could. We had a real quick car through the corners, but I had to kind of squeeze him a little bit to get by.
All right, go get him.
Well, Mark Martin is certainly a driver who is on a hot streak. He's had 6 top 10 finishes in the last 7 races. He started this race from 2nd position, and they hit the rev limiter during qualifying, or he may have even sat on the pole. So,
because he didn't miss the pole but by 1,000th of a second. And folks, there's no way we can measure 1,000.
That ain't very much, is it? We understand that Ricky Rudd walked into the infield hospital. He will be checked there, but preliminary indication he's okay after a crash in turn 1.
ESPN Home Video presents Bill Elliott Racing into History, the only video that shows you why this man became a racer and how he became a champion. Hosted by ESPN's Betty Parsons, you'll feel the excitement of driving with Bill as he wins NASCAR's biggest prize, the Winston Million. Order your copy for only $19.95. Call 1-800-533-1800. Racing into History lets you enjoy the excitement of driving with Bill again and again. Call today, 1-800-533-1800.
Las Vegas Magic. Excalibur Hotel Casino, Las Vegas. All rooms $35 Sunday through Thursday, September 7th to October 1st. 7 marvelous restaurants. Non-stop entertainment. North America's only Magic Motion Simulator Theater. For reservations, phone 1-800-937-7777. Excalibur. It will take your breath away. Football is back. The NFL returns to ESPN as the Detroit Lions battle the Buffalo Bills. The Detroit Lions, lightning quick Barry Sanders strives to restore the roar to a team on the verge of greatness. The Buffalo Bills, Thurman Thomas leads the way in a head-to-head battle between the most explosive backs in the game. The Lions meet the Bills Monday night at 8 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Bill Elliott, Ernie Irvan, Brett Bodine, Darrell Waltrip, and Sterling Marlin are running 1st through 5th after 61 of 200 laps in the Champion Spark Plug 400, live from Michigan International Speedway. Our Speed World coverage being brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. By Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. And by Busch Beer, smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Well, the field is forming now for a restart with the lapped cars to the inside and those on the lead lap at the outside. Many came in to top off their tanks here in the last couple of laps. This caution has been for Ricky Rudd's crash in turn number 1, and we'll go back to green on lap number 64.
And Ernie Irvan was one of those that came in to top off his tank top. And boy, I'll tell you, that's a long way to go up through the pack. Jerry, why did he come in?
Yeah, there were 2 reasons, actually. One, the car was a little bit loose. They wanted to put about a round of wedge in it, but they're thinking way, way ahead. They told Ernie, said, you come in right now, we top it off, we can make it the rest of the way on 2 pit stops.
Strategy being played out already on pit road.
Man, we're at 62 laps. We're worried about the end of the race already.
We're not even close to the halfway point. We're worried about the end of the race already.
Well, I tell you, give up that track position, it can be tough, but who knows, it might work out.
I haven't even finished my cup of coffee, and they're worried about winning the race.
Get that sandwich finished, and you'll be set for a few laps, huh?
Yep.
Here's Elliott leading him down, retaking the green flag, and back to full-speed racing. Brett Bodine is second, followed by Waltrip, Irvan, and Marlin.
The 12 car got a great run off the second corner trying to get by Elliott. Get back in the lead lap. That's Hut Strickland in his Ford. He's the bestest Ford. I've been calling the Buick all year when it's been a Chevrolet. Oh, what I'll do now.
Elliott inches back ahead. Boy, Hutt really went Elliott to the bottom of the racetrack. He was on the white line here at the start-finish line. And look at this, 3 abreast into turn 1.
These cars are really, really zinging through these corners. And Hutt just can't get that lap back from Elliott. He can't get off the corner with the momentum that he needs to get by it. Now he pulls in behind Bill. Sitting back there watching all this. Both these cars are lap down.
And yeah, Earnhardt and Irvin are side by side with lots of traffic ahead of them, including Bobby Hamilton and Morgan Shepherd.
How come they come off that corner and they all just go boom and want to hit each other? But look at all this traffic direct in front of them. Man, oh man. Ernie's going to try it 3 abreast.
And look how far they are from the leader. Bill Elliott.
Elliott's going in 3. Ernie's coming off 2. And Ernie's still got to pass all these cars.
And Elliott's opened up quite a healthy lead at the moment over Brett Bodine. Neal goes through, and then we zoom into this huge pack of cars. 3, 5, 6, 7, 10 cars running right together. Look at this.
And Earnhardt and Ernie can't go anywhere. Now, Bobby Hamilton was going to try to make a move. Ernie decides to come down and follow Earnhardt now.
For some reason, all the people here in the grandstand are standing. I wonder why that is.
I don't know. They see all that action. The car number 27, I believe, of Jeff McClure and Earnhardt came together there for just a little bit. Didn't seem to hurt either one of them too much.
Let's take a look at it again.
Coming down the front, and we see.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Earnhardt just went up on him a little bit.
Yep.
Earnhardt was trying to get himself in position to get in the corner to make a real wide entry in the corner. And unfortunately, Jeff McClure was already there.
Here comes Ernie Irvin to the low side of Earnhardt as Bobby Hamilton watches from behind. He hooks up with Irvin on the bottom side.
Just looking for a place to go. He don't know which one to follow. Well, he should have followed Irvin because Irvin's the one that made the pass, but maybe he couldn't.
That's 16th, 17th, and 18th there. Irvin, Earnhardt, and Hamilton. And look at this, 4 wide down the back chute.
There's Harry again on the inside trying to get by Wally Dallenbach. He makes the pass, and meanwhile, Ernie Irvin dives in there. Look, and he dives on the inside again.
Gant got a little bit sideways. He jumped up under Morgan Shepherd and had to back off for just a moment. And Irvin has his momentum, so he just floorboarded it and came right on through.
Well, this is hold your breath time, isn't it?
Well, I am. I really am. I'm up here safe, and I'm holding my breath.
Dallenbach getting passed here in the middle.
Ernie needs to come up the racetrack probably to get on the outside of the 21 car. No, the 21 car's on the outside of, who is it, 55? Ted Musgrave, the Jasper engine car going by Jeff Purvis.
Now Irvin to the high side of Morgan Shepherd. A lot of racetrack between them and Bill Elliott, who sets the pace here.
Bill has built himself a pretty good lead.
There is second place Brett Bodine in the green Quaker State Ford. Third spot is Sterling Marlin there, number 22.
This run today, Elliott might be reasserting himself as the 1992 Winston Cup champion.
Well, he's 17 points ahead in the quest for the Cup standings.
I just think morale, confidence team confidence has a great deal to do with it. And we're getting to the point of the season the team really needs a great deal of confidence.
Boy, Mark Martin got himself in a tight spot. He backed off. He almost had room to go between Trickle and Hut Strickland, but he said that wouldn't be the smart thing to do, so he backed off. There's Darrell Walker down on the inside. Is Darrell? Well, maybe he had a problem there for a moment, but I think he just got himself in a position down on the inside of the track. Looks like he's doing okay now. Mark Martin running in 4th place.
Kyle Petty involved in the battle with Rusty Wallace and Alan Kowicki behind that group.
Both of those cars just passed Alan Kowicki. Dale Jarrett was behind him. All 3 of those cars passed Alan Kowicki in the last 2 laps.
Kowicki, as the pole sitter, the only one eligible for $38,000 in Unocal bonus money should he win this event. Right now,
outside. Is he going to have room? Now Darrell moves down to give him the room, but Darrell makes the pass.
Looked to me like Mark got the car sideways up there, and it looked like he almost got the loose stuff and got loose. Then he loose stuff and got loose or got it sideways.
He was awfully high up in the turn, that's for sure.
That's why they call it the loose stuff. When you go up there, you spin out.
Yeah.
And the field summary for you. Bill Elliott is the leader. He has recorded 4 victories so far this year, but has not won on a racetrack of 2 miles or longer. He was second at Talladega in May, but is showing the way here in this one.
There's Davey Allison back there. He dominated this race in June.
With Dale Jarrett.
And Dale just passed him, didn't he, Nick?
Yes, he did. Sure did. Dale's going pretty good now. Unfortunately, he's a lap down.
I guess the coach is paying more attention to football these days than racing, huh? Or at least physically.
Yeah, once the practice got started, he was not able to come to any races. Kyle Petty down on the inside of the track. Is he letting cars go by? Or is he trying to pass Davey Allison? His car's been working low on the bottom of the track. I think he was just trying to pass Davey. But yeah, Coach Gibbs said he might not get to attend any more races until maybe till next February at Daytona.
Yep. Yeah, Kyle seems to prefer that low line. He comes down the tri-oval here sometimes and is running on a white line at the bottom of the track.
But when you get down there, you feel a lot of the momentum of the car, but if you get good traction, as he's doing right now, then you can get a good run off the turn and maybe go down the straightaway at a good speed. He pulls away from Davey Allison to see Davey Allison had the momentum. Up in that groove, he had more RPMs as he came off the turn. He was able to pull back and run it off.
Watching the battle for 6th position, Davey Allison and Kyle Petty. And Kyle once again half the car length ahead through the corner. Davey battling back on the outside as they head down the backstretch.
That's where a spotter comes in so handy that's familiar with these cars, and he can tell Kyle, look, you cleared him, move up, coming off that second corner so he can get that momentum.
Bill Elliott comes down as the leader and completes 74 laps. The top 5, Elliott, Brett Bodine, Sterling Marlin, Darrell Waltrip, and Mark Martin.
When Darrell Waltrip needs a part, he needs the right part, and he needs it fast.
And when you need parts, see the parts team at Western Auto. We've got top name brands and thousands of parts in stock. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
And we've got the right price, backed by our low price guarantee, right?
Right, DW. And while you're at Western Auto, pick up AC oil filters for just 99 cents each after rebate. AC oil filters, it's like buying time.
Western Auto, the official auto parts and service store of NASCAR. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
Where to find the mountain man. A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the mountain man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the mountain man.
Things are different. The new Pontiac Grand Am GT proves it. Things are better because no import at its price can match the power of its 16-valve engine and the control of its standard anti-lock brakes. Not Accord, not Camry, no one. In fact, Consumers Digest named Grand Am a Best Buy. Pontiac Grand Am, a new kind of driving excitement.
Went up to the counter and gave him my credit card, and the lady looked at it and she asked me, "Do you play hockey?" I said, "No." She said, "Oh, I could have sworn you played hockey."
We're getting closer to the halfway mark. If you've entered the Gillette Halfway Challenge and you're called at home and can name the driver who won the Gillette Halfway Challenge Award, you'll win a new Chevrolet Lumina Z34. Now, if you want to enter the contest for our next event, the Budweiser 500 at Bristol on Saturday the 29th, you must have your entry by the 28th. Write to Gillette Halfway Challenge, Post Office Box 2246, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33731, 2246. You have to be 18 or older, and we must receive your entry by Friday the 28th to be eligible for the Gillette Halfway Challenge during the Bud 500 at Bristol International Speedway in less than 2 weeks. Here's the leader, Bill Elliott. Behind him, good battle for second as Brett Bodine and Sterling Marlin are right together. Then comes Waltrip, Martin, Jarrett.
I think these guys are gaining on the leader. Looks like they might be a little bit.
Yes, they are gaining a little bit on. Darrell Waltrip is the man that's gaining the most.
Yeah, it looks like he's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Sterling Marlin moving to the top of the racetrack. Going to try that groove a while. It looks like it might work for him.
He's got good momentum coming off the corner down the backstretch. He pulls alongside Brett, and he does take second.
There again, the spotter probably told him that Darrell Waltrip is running high. You might try it up there. And he moved up, and away he went. Well, I thought he had second place, but Brett Bodine has another thing about that. Yeah, Sterling has the spot. Now he can focus in on trying to catch at his teammate, the 11 car.
Well, you say teammate, but that's one car that he really would just love to catch and pass.
Yeah, that's right.
One of the fastest cars on the racetrack, however, is Darrell Waltrip in fourth. Now, we timed laps 72 through 76, comparing Elliott and Waltrip, and you can see on the far right that the interval was 2.6 seconds on lap 72, and Darrell has reduced that to 1.8 a few laps ago on lap 76.
Darrell Waltrip has won the Champion Spark Plug 400 twice. The last time, 1984. That was 8 years ago, so it's about time. Looking from inside Mark Barnes' car at Darrell Waltrip.
Cars in the lead lap.
That car's handling pretty well. He's able to get in the corner, get on the gas, and not have to get off and on the throttle a couple of times to get off that corner.
You don't run flat out around this place, do you?
No, you hit. As a matter of fact, I was looking at some race cars in there this morning, Bob, and here's Sterling Marlin. He's called Bill Elliott. A lot of these cars have like short track brakes on them. They're going down the corner and really hitting the brakes hard.
As a matter of fact, I think Dale had a brake problem there. Dale Jarrett had a brake problem here in June.
He did indeed. In fact, he came in for the pit stop, didn't know he had a brake problem until he got right there. Ricky Rudd was spinning right in front of him. He hit the brakes and went nothing there, and he had to make an evasive move to keep him running over Rudd. And his crew hit one of his own crewmen, knocked him up over the windshield, knocked the windshield out. Bill Deese was the man that he hit, and there was a fan in the grandstands that was showing it, that was taping it with a home movie camera, and gave it to Dale last week up at Watkins Glen, a fan from Canada.
Well, Sterling Marlin now is just all over Bill Elliott in the battle for the lead. Let's go to John Kernan.
You mentioned their teammates, and yes, Ned, Sterling does want to get around that number 11 car. A lot of speculation as to where Sterling's going to be driving and what team he'll be driving for next year. He wants to prove himself, of course. Feels that if he can pass Bill Elliott, who's passing one of the best, like to pick up his very first win. As far as changing his line to go higher, it wasn't the spotter up top who told him. It was crew chief Mike Bean, who is keeping abreast of the situation of various cars on the racetrack and what kind of lines they are running. And he told Sterling, why don't you move up a little bit higher and see if you like that. And apparently it is to their liking.
He's closed in within the car length and a half or so on Bill. And Sterling is still looking for Winston Cup win number 1.
It's unbelievable. He hasn't been able to try Victor Certain. How many seconds he has? 6 or 8 or something?
A lot of them. And what, 4 poles this year?
4 pole positions in 1992. As a matter of fact, he's leading he's a contest that Busch Beer sponsors. Pays about $30,000 at the end of the year. He's leading that.
We're about 15 laps from the halfway point, and right now the race has kind of settled down into single file formation, and so we're going to get as many commercial breaks out of the way as possible so we can bring you the pit action and the action on the track when it happens.
For
professional service, a friendly face. That's your Big A Pro.
Big A, the sign that keeps your car running right.
People don't stay at La Quinta Inns just because they happen to see one everywhere they go. Although, it is a convenient excuse. Call 1-800-531-5900. La Quinta Inns, America's hotel value. This is La Quinta Inn's new money-saving Super Value Rates coupon. If you can't find one, just tell them you saw it on TV. Call La Quinta and ask for the new Super Value Rates from $34.50.
There's one battery that backs you with free jumpstart service anywhere for any reason. Die Hard.
Can't believe I left my lights on.
Sears Die Hard. The battery you can count on to give you more power when you need it most.
The performance of a Chevrolet is determined by many factors. We consider volumetric efficiency, coefficient of drag, yaw damping, polar moments of inertia, induction velocity, camber, caster, bounce, rebound, thermodynamic load, slip angles, linkage arrangements. And at Chevrolet, we also take into account the yeehaw factor.
The cars more people depend on.
This is where America gets together. Every weekend throughout America, there is great NASCAR racing.
I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Around the world, around the year, with over 1 million miles of award-winning auto racing coverage. ESPN Speed World today in Brooklyn, Michigan, in the southern Irish Hills for the Champion Spark Plug 400 NASCAR Winston Cup race. Well, just when we thought things had settled down and nothing was really going on, we had another caution. It came on lap number 88 and is our fourth of the day. Lake Speed spun on the backstretch. We'll show you that in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, let's catch the live action as they come in for a pit stop. There's Elliott, and here's John.
Tim Brew and the crew will go to work on a regular 4-tire change. They were looking at coming in at about 12 laps from now, at about lap 100. Already the work is finished on the right side. They'll bring the jack around to the left side. Bill's got himself a nice cool drink. Looking over Sterling Marlin's now, the left side just going up on the jack. We talked about these two teammates racing out on the racetrack. Well, Elliott's crew wins the race out of the pits with Sterling Marlin not too far behind.
Elliott is moving out, so is Darrell Waltrip. Darrell is going to beat Sterling out of the pits. Here comes Brett Bodine. He's going to fall in right behind Bill, and Alan Kowicki will fall in behind Brett. Those guys, of course, pitted down at turn number 1, and so it was easy for them to get into position.
All year long.
Oh,
boy, Lake Speed is the car that spun out, and he took the car on around the racetrack, but boy, he has bigger problems now than he did when he spun out.
This isn't a replay. This is live.
Man, oh man, looks like an oil line is blown off or something.
Well, this is what happened a few laps ago while we were in commercial break as Lake came off the second corner and the car took off with him toward the inside. He spun. Don't think he hit anything.
He came on around the racetrack after that. Didn't look like he hit a thing. Purex forward.
But then when he...
I bet you he flat spotted the tires, and the tire went flat as he was going around to catch up to the field, and the tire came apart and knocked the oil line off the oil cooler, and that's where the fire we see.
Could be. And then this is what happened then when he came around.
That's where the oil cooler is right there on that left front. Man, I can't talk today.
That's some pretty good flame coming out of there.
Doggone good flame.
Boy, can you imagine trying to get out of a burning race car as quickly as you can with the shoulder harness and the seat belt and the radio hooked into your helmet? Man.
Lake goes around to a lot of churches making speeches and what have you. He is a true believer. He'll have something to tell now.
Yes, sir.
So you definitely don't want to be good because the result is fire.
Another reason to wear every available piece of safety equipment because he had gloves on and you could see him throw one off of his hand. Obviously, he got a little hot, and had he not had the gloves, he may have been in pretty bad shape. So we're under caution now at Michigan for the 4th time this afternoon.
Freedom. It's the spirit which moves the Cutlass Supreme, a car intelligently engineered to free your eyes, your hands, your senses. Introducing the new Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. The look may change, but the spirit remains the same. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Hey, want to meet the team? Just head over to McDonald's for these exciting USA Olympic basketball collector cups. Some are more exciting than others. Some better looking. Get one free. Free? When you buy any large soft drink. Large, like me. All of them have exciting action graphics and player stats. Not bad. For a limited time, team one up. With large fries. And a big beefy triple cheeseburger, and you've got yourself the gold medal meal. What you want is what you get.
At McDonald's today.
Gold medal? I'll take 2. Shape up with ESPN's midday workout. First at 11, Body by Jake gets your engine started with a workout and great health and fitness information. Keep on going at 11:30 with a well-rounded routine on getting fit with Denise Austin. You'll keep on moving at noon with aerobic exercise on Bodies in Motion. And then at 12:30, Body Shaping helps you tone up and slim down. It's better to look good and feel good on ESPN's midday workout.
Look for the sign.
Top-of-the-line parts.
The red, blue, and white.
Expert advice.
It's a good sign.
Your Big A Auto Parts store,
Keeps your car running right.
where the pros go for auto parts.
Big A, the sign that keeps your car running right.
Someone to depend on when you need to depend on your car.
Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch back in Brooklyn, Michigan for the Champion Spark Plug 400. The leader of the race is Brett Bodine. Now, when we saw it live, I said that he's going to fall in behind Bill Elliott. However, that wasn't the case, and Ned is going to take a pin in hand here on our telestrator and show you why Brett is the leader.
Okay, here's Elliott. He's already made his pit stop and headed down pit road. Now, here's Brett Bodine. He's pitting down towards turn 1. He hasn't come out of the pits yet. And see, right here is the line. If I draw a reasonably straight one, that's the line that they're racing to as they come out of the pits. And whoever crosses that line first will be the leader.
It was close, but as you will see, Brett...
Now, disregard that little hump in my line there, fellas. But you can see Brett does get out there to the white line first, and as a result, he's the leader.
And Alan Kowicki was right there also. Jerry?
And actually, that was a 20-second flat pit stop for Brett Bodine. Donnie Richardson and the Quaker State crew got to give a call, but no one was prouder of that pit stop than car owner Kenny Bernstein, who went by and absolutely shook every crew member's hand a minute ago on what went on as far as his pit stop. Less than 20 seconds here in the pits for Brett Bodine. That put him back out up front.
This is not the first time this happened with this team, fellas. I've noticed them all year long that they've been making very fast pit stops. I started to comment on that, not even knowing how quick they had made this pit stop before we zeroed in on the Lake Speed car over there burning. As we see Lake's car there right now, it burned quite a bit up there on the left front. But the 2016, the Quaker State team have really performed in the pits.
Well, Kenny Bernstein, of course, himself is trying to win the Top Fuel Championship in NHRA drag racing, but every time he isn't racing and can make a Winston Cup race, he is here.
And Lake's, speaking of Kenny Bernstein.
That's that white balance.
There's the man.
White balance.
Knows a little about television.
Yeah, he does. What's it say here? The Champion Spark Plug is... they're looking toward that 10 grand, and if they can hold the lead for 9 more laps, they'll have it. 91 laps completed here at Michigan International Speedway.
Your local Suzuki dealer presents Hot Days Cool Deals. A Suzuki Samurai or Suzuki Sidekick are the fun ways to beat the heat. And the Samurai and Sidekick are today's lowest price sports utility vehicles. Hey, and that's before you make your best deal. Your local Suzuki dealer has plenty of Samurais and Sidekicks in stock at really cool sale prices. Drive it to the beach, drive it to the mountains, drive it to the supermarket. Just drive into your local Suzuki dealer now during Hot Days Cool Deals. Don't miss it.
Any other van in the world. But he still shows up at all my games. He says it's because he's such a great guy. But I think it's because he put a phone in his truck. I think I play better when he's here.
Ohio. Join us today when Yvonne Lindell, who is making a comeback, takes on from the USA, number 3 player in the world, Pete Sampras, for the championship.
This coming Thursday night at 9 o'clock, Top Rank Boxing has a match between Carl the Truth Williams, Ozzie Ocasio, and Ricky Myers versus Carl Griffith. 9 o'clock Thursday, Top Rank Boxing.
Green flag.
Yep, here they come. Green flag is out. Brett Bodine is the leader. 93 laps completed, 7 to go to the halfway point, and $10,000 to the leader of the event at that time.
Once again, the car's on the outside line in the lead lap. Car's on the inside line, a lap down and trying to do something about it. And it looks like Dale Jarrett might be doing something about it with his Chevrolet, Ned.
Yeah, he got back in the lead lap there for the moment, at least. Rusty Wallace trying to do as the same thing, trying to move on the inside of the 26 car Brett Bodine, but hasn't been able to do it yet.
Here comes Alan Powicki.
Trying to get by Dick Trickle.
Boy, Brett's car really pushed up as he came off of that turn. And that gave Rusty an opportunity to jump under there, but was not able to make that pass.
Davey had an idea of making it 3 abreast before down in turn 1, but common sense prevailed.
This is from Mark Martin's car. Davey to the left. Sterling Marlin up ahead.
Darrell Walton right in front of Sterling. See, these cars look like they're running about 40, 50 miles an hour. Folks are running 185 to 90 miles an hour. About 160 right now. Ooh.
Sterling backed off to get around Hess Strickland. That's a little bit loose up there. Now Sterling moves down on the inside of Davey Allison as Bill Elliott takes the lead.
Elliott has taken the lead on lap 95.
Looks like maybe Kowicki has found out whatever kind of problem he had the last time. Looks like he's a little racy right now. 3 abreast. 3 abreast back behind him.
Tight 3 abreast.
A real tight 3 abreast. Ernie Irvin on the inside. And a crash coming off the second corner right behind him.
Right behind what we were watching, a crash breaks out. Rick Mast is involved, several others.
This will be the break that Dale Jarrett was looking for.
Yep. Gary Cope was involved. He keeps going, however. There's a car up against the wall. I cannot tell the number. Looks like that everybody was able to keep going, but Dale Jarrett got a break and is now back on the lead lap.
Well, Bob, at the risk of boasting about your son, if he'd been anybody else, we would have said it. Before the caution came out, he was gaining on the leaders about 1/10 to 2/10 of a second a lap. So then he made the pit stop, got out first of those that were a lap down, and got the break that he needed here by outrunning the leader back to the line.
All right, our 5th caution of the day is out at the NASCAR Winston Cup Champion Spark Plug 400. We'll be right back.
Things are different. The new Pontiac Grand Am Sports Sedan proves it. Things are better because its new overhead cam engine gives you more than outstanding power. It gives you better mileage than Accord or Camry for a whole lot less. In fact, Consumers Digest named Grand Am a Best Buy. Pontiac Grand Am, a new kind of driving excitement.
You know, I've messed up on a few relationships in my life, but there's one that's lasted over 35 years with a lot of help from Quicker State. It's tough on wear, tough on sludge. So Quaker State and I are planning on a meaningful relationship with my new car. So why don't you do the same with your new car's engine, and Quaker State will guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. You think if I gave Lonnie the Quaker State deal, she'd give me the same guarantee? Quaker State is one top motor oil.
With each new day, you find a way to be your best.
Gillette Sensor for the closest, safest shave ever.
You know you gotta be a little better than the rest.
Only Gillette Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that sense and adjust to every detail of every face. Gillette Sensor, when you're the best, there's no feeling like it.
Gillette, the best of men.
From Morgan Shepherd's perspective, this is why we're under caution for the 5th time. Watch up ahead. And that's Derek Cope spinning. A little bump there, maybe?
Well, I think the car in front of him got sideways. I think the car in front of Derek got sideways, and he turned to avoid that car.
All right, watch and listen.
They might have touched the 30 car, but Michael might have had to back off because the car in front of him got loose, and Michael hit him.
Well, there were 4 cars involved. Looks like Cope has the most damage. Everybody else was able to keep going. They were Rick Mast, Jeff McClure, and Jimmy Hensley. And in fact, it didn't take long for them to clean the track back there. No debris or anything, and we are ready to go back to caution. And this will complete lap number 98. We'll be on lap number 99. So just 2 more to go to the halfway point.
Bill Elliott's the man that's in position to get it.
Let me just correct that again. We're going off caution back to green.
Oh, I see.
Not going back to caution.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Rusty Wallace on 50.
You know what I mean.
Okay, Rusty Wallace, yeah, Benny, he's about to say trying to get a lap back.
Just like Dale Jarrett did.
Rusty is 20th position.
Dives off in the corner and gets ahead of Elliott, but Elliott comes back on the outside with that momentum, and here comes Kowicki on the inside of Brad Bodine trying to take that second spot away.
1 more to go to the halfway point. And $10,000 to the leader. We go down to the Derek Cope pit and Jerry Punch.
And Barry Dodson, you've taken the Chevrolet back to the garage area for Derek Cope. What happened? What did he say happened out there?
Biding our time, probably the best run we've had all year. We kept taking advantage of the opportunity to put fuel in to stay in the lead lap. That's why we're back there 10th or 12th. And I guess on the restart, a lap car got up, slid up in front of us, and we slowed to miss him and got drilled from behind. And then evidently knocked the oil pump belt off. The engine broke right in front of us as he came by. So I guess you beat the traffic home.
Tough break here for the Pure Leader team and Barry Dodson.
And there is the halfway mark. Cross flags being displayed by Doyle Ford. We've completed 100 of 200 laps, and the leader of the race is Bill Elliott. He wins $10,000 in the Gillette Halfway Challenge. Now, if you have entered the contest and are called at home and can correctly identify Bill Elliott as the winner of the Gillette Halfway Challenge, you could win the Chevrolet Lumina Z34. I'll let you know before the end of the race who, if anyone, wins.
Brad Bodine having some problems now all of a sudden.
It's going back a little bit.
Kowicki got by. Darrell Wolford got by. Now Ernie Irvin has passed him up in the Kodak Chevrolet. So John Irvin has Bobby Hill on the inside, I think.
Bobby has the Team Iowa car number 31. It's black, similar to Earnhardt's. In fact, it is an old Earnhardt car, I believe. This particular one might not be, but Martin Moraine, who owns that team, did buy his first car from Richard Childress. He still produces from that.
There you see Kowicki in second, Darrell Waltrip third, then Ernie Irvin fourth, and number 4. Elliott got way up high on that corner.
He's using every bit of the racetrack as he comes up off that corner.
By the way, Bill is the winningest active driver here at Michigan with 7 victories. Now, David Pearson and Cale Yarborough have more wins here at this facility than Bill. Of course, they're retired, and Bill's 7 wins tops the mark among the actives.
Ernie Irvin got up under Darrell Waltrip in that turn, but Darrell had the momentum coming off, so he pulls back out in front.
dramatic, but there he is. He's backed up to Michael Walters and Bobby Hillen, Bud Strickland, Morgan Shepherd, Richard Petty, those guys. He lost 15-20 car lengths. He had to jump out of the throttle to save the car.
Saw the nose of Harry Gant's car up there for just a moment. Haven't seen or heard much of him, but he's still out there in the lead lap. In fact, he's being shown right now in the 13th position. As we look out Morgan Shepherd's windshield to Team Ireland car, Bobby Hillen. That's got Strickland down on the inside there for just a moment.
There's the race for second. Sterling Marlin. Once again, he's got... Where did he come from?
Well, he just passed Ernie Irvin. Coming up there now, trying to take Waltrip, who is running third.
Well, he has come on strong here in the last couple of laps.
You see, there, he sure lost something there. He didn't have momentum enough to do that. Moved down to the inside. He's going to lose everything that he gained.
And John Kernan is in Sterling's pit.
Talking with Mike Beam, he said yesterday they weren't satisfied with the way the engine in the car, the race motor, was running. So they pulled that out and put the qualifying motor back into it. Well, the only problem with that is there was a spot on one of the cylinder walls. Well, Junior talked to Mike about that. Said, "You think we're going to have a problem? How many miles you got on that motor?" Mike said, "Oh, about 100 miles maybe." He said, "Well, it's a short race on Sunday. That motor can't go a total of 500 miles before it blows. Then it's probably a bad motor." But they're banking on that nothing's going to happen to that motor.
Looking good right now, just past the halfway point.
Bill Elliott can see the lead that he has built up there now.
Now the Western Auto Race recap as Bill Elliott has led 41 of the first 100 laps. 5 caution periods for 26 laps. 18 cars are on the lead lap, and we have had 4 leaders and 5 changes, and the speed is well below the record at 125 miles an hour because of the 5 cautions. 4 drivers have led: Kowicki, the pole sitter, Mark Martin, Brett Bodine, and the current leader, Bill Elliott. Those that have dropped out of competition, several for crashes. Greg Sachs was involved in the crash, as was Jeff Bodine. Jimmy Means, Horton Potter, Stan Fox crashed, Ricky Rudd crashed, and Lake Speed crashed and had a fire. Now the Mechanic of the Year standings from Western Auto, showing that Donnie Richardson from Brett Bodine's team is on top by 6 points over Tony Glover. Tim Brewer's third, and Larry McReynolds and Steve Neal tied for 4th position in the Western Auto Mechanic of the Year standings.
You see Sterling Marlin trying to fight his way back. He was by these cars a couple of laps ago, but he slid back behind Waltrip now. He's in 4th spot, 5th spot.
Allison is 6th, then Bodine, Kyle Petty, Mark Martin, and the 10th place car is Morgan Shepherd. Bill's got a pretty good lead right now. The Budweiser Ford looking for win number 8 at Michigan International Speedway. You're watching live coverage of the Champion Spark Plug 400, and we'll be back after this.
When Darrell Waltrip needs a part, he needs the right part, and he needs it fast.
And when you need parts, see the parts team at Western Auto. We've got top name brands and thousands of parts in stock. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
And we've got the right price, backed by our low price guarantee, right?
Right, DW. And while you're at Western Auto, pick up AC oil filters for just 99 cents each after rebate. AC oil filters, it's like buying time.
Western Auto, the official auto parts and service store of NASCAR. Right, guys?
Right, DW.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Bush beer, an easy drinking Bush Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Bush beer is a drinking Bush Light.
At Oldsmobile, we know the difference between designing a race car to be fast and designing a race car to be a winner. The new Achieva SCX has an engine that just doesn't know when to quit. Anti-lock brakes that help make cornering a breeze. And the difference between this winner and the winner you can buy is a wash. the Achieva SCX from Oldsmobile. The power of intelligent engineering.
It is Bill Elliott, Alan Kowicki, and Ernie Irvin, the top three at Michigan, and a car going slowly in turn number 3 and 4 is Dave Marcus. That car developed a problem coming through the tri-oval, and he's trying to make it back to pit road and has made it onto pit road. So Dave Marcus's race, it appears, is all over.
New sponsor on the Dave Marcus car today, Ward's Apparel. Met the fellow down there today. Said he's the largest Levi apparel dealer in Indiana or Michigan or some state.
Big one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Kowicki going for the lead here, going to the low side on Bill Elliott. Ernie Irvin watching from third place.
Now Irvin, look at him cut that thing left and try to pull under Kowicki coming off the turn.
Irvin is really quick right now.
They made some adjustments on that car and got him much quicker than he was earlier in the race.
Ernie Irvin moving to the inside and taking second place from Kowicki, or trying to.
Not so quick, said Alan.
Yeah, but watch him come off of that turn. Irvin getting the bite down on the inside. And, well, still got some work to do.
The battle still rages. As we watch this battle for second position between Ernie Irvin and Alan Kowicki, we'd like to say hi to a couple of people who are on our regular ESPN auto racing staff that aren't here this weekend. Chevy Furlan back in Indianapolis with a back problem, and Kevin Clark, our regular chief spotter, had an incident here at the track earlier in the weekend and went home to Lynchburg, Virginia this morning. So Kevin, we wish you were here and wish you the best for your recuperation. A couple of people on the injured reserve list, the ESPN auto racing crew. Ernie still there. Not, well, I think he's got this. Oh,
He slides up in front of Alan.
The old slide job.
Man, that is so close.
He got him a run. He said, I'm going to make it stick this time and just slide right up in front of him. And he did. Alan's car going pretty high there in the turnstiles. Just now Irvin has thoughts of going after Bill Elliott. You know, not too long ago, Elliott had a pretty good lead, but now he doesn't have.
Back in 5th position is Darrell Waltrip, and 6th is Kyle Petty.
And Kyle Petty has run this group down. Remember, early in the race, he had a really good race car. It looks like it's coming back to him now.
Kyle Petty sporting inside that car today remembrances of the King Elvis Presley, who died 15 years ago on this date. On Petty's dashboard is in loving memory of Elvis.
You know, Bob, I'll never forget how I learned, as Ernie Irvin tries to make it past the lead, how I learned about Elvis Presley's death.
Yeah.
I was at Bobby Isaac's funeral. He was buried on this day, and Glenn Wood came up and said that he heard him on the radio as he was driving to the funeral.
Another Napa Field summary for you. Irvin still closing in on Elliott here in turn 4.
Boy, Irvin is getting off that turn 4. Coming off a little bit low and gets a good bite coming off there.
18 cars are on the lead lap. Down through 28, only 1 lap behind. Dave Marcus is taking his car behind the wall.
This has been a great car race so far.
It's been a good race.
115 laps, and I tell you what, I really right now don't know who has a superior car at the end of the race. And by now, we're supposed to have some idea who's going to win this thing.
You're right. There have been spurts of greatness from Elliott and Kowicki, but nobody has been real dominant. We're looking for, and there he is, Dale Jarrett, who did get back on the lead lap and has been moving up steadily. Passing Morgan Shepherd and is in 10th position. Morgan is in 10th and Dale is in 11th and now takes 10th position. Jarrett's having a fine run.
He has a fast car, Bob. He got a lap down as a result of making a pit stop, took on 4 tires. Caution came out about 2 laps later and was a lap down, but they got it back. And Jerry, they planned a little bit of strategy along the way there. What are they doing down there?
Dan, you got to give a call to Dale's brother-in-law, Jimmy Maycar, who's the crew chief. Maycar, when Dale got a lap down, said, we're going to loosen the race car up. We'll make the car very loose. So the loose race car, at least to some extent, is a fast race car. So when Dale got his lap back and the caution came out to that spin over there with Darren Coates, they brought him back down pit road, put a couple of rounds of bite back in the car to tighten it back up. So, okay, now we're back in the lead lap. We'll tighten it up. We'll take our time. We'll be patient. We'll work our way toward the front.
Jerry, we got a great battle for third out there, but don't go away. I probably won't see you between now and the big day, the 20th of this month. Happy birthday. Are you, what, 45? Is that it?
Thank you, Bob. And hey, checks in the mail, Bobby. No, I'm not quite your age yet, Bob. I'm at least a couple of handfuls away from that one, but thank you very much for the kind birthday wish.
Kyle Petty has had a good car today. Look at it work down on the inside. Kowicki's car is not working as well as he did earlier. Kyle trying to take fourth place away from Kowicki.
Allen battling back on the outside, and Waltrip is right behind him.
Darrell's been there all day.
Yes, he has. Yep. That's his style of race, staying within striking distance until he can see the end of the race and then going for it. Remember, he was second to Davey Allison in June here at MIS.
Here he comes down. He's trying to get hooked up with Kyle Petty. Here's Davey Allison trying to get by Brett Bodine. He got by him a few laps ago. Well, maybe Brett's trying to pass Davey again. It looked like the reverse, but Davey was in front of Brett Bodine just a couple of laps ago.
Whatever it is, they're racing for position, aren't they? And Brett might have him this time.
Here's Kyle Petty trying once again to get by Kowicki. And they go in the corner absolutely side by side.
Fourth, fifth, and sixth here. And up front, it's Elliott and Ernie Irvin. Sterling Marlin runs third.
Well, I tell you, that Morton McClure really had a good race car the last couple of months, haven't they?
Yeah, they sure have.
Every racetrack we've been to, Daytona, road courses.
He has
here in Michigan.
He's won 3 of the last 7 NASCAR Winston Cup races, talking about Ernie Irvin. There's fourth, fifth, and sixth as Kyle passed Kowicki to go to fourth.
DW trying to move down on the inside. Gets a good run off the turn.
Winner at Pocono not too long ago, Darrell Waltrip.
Did that with exceptionally good guessing.
Yep.
Brett McCann's going to slide up there, but Allen backs off. And Brett Bodine now gets a good run as Allen backed off. And a piece of that action.
Brett Bodine has done a good job coming back. Remember, he was up front when this thing restarted and slid back to about 6th or 7th. And now he's done a good job to catch these fellas back up.
He's in 7th position. Davey Allison is in 8th spot.
Well, I tell you, Davey's doing a great job, too, with
Sure is.
the conditions that he is running under today. The injury, the family.
There's Mark Martin.
He was so fast the early part of the race. He and Alan Kowicki.
This is the in-car camera. Mark Martin's valve lead forward.
He's sort of sitting there, not close to anyone in front.
Ken Schrader. And then Dale Jarrett. And I don't know how many of you saw Speed Week last night, but Dale just had an absolutely moving and wonderful quote regarding the death of Clifford Allison here Friday, and saying essentially that many people think drivers are cold because they can get back into a race car and do their thing after something like that happens. It was just a very well said and appropriate situation for the race today here at Michigan.
Michael Walker there in the Pennzoil Pontiac, car number 30. He's currently being shown in 20th place, 1 lap down.
Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia, and the Budweiser Ford is the leader of the race. And Ernie Irvin runs second with Sterling Marlin in third. 123 laps completed out of 200. Back with more right after this.
Here's the advertising idea on Wendy's new bacon cheddar cheeseburger.
We see clouds. And then a voice says, Wendy's new bacon cheddar cheeseburger, eat it.
That's it?
That's it.
Gee, I thought we'd show a quarter pound of fresh beef, 3 strips of bacon, and cheddar cheese sauce, all on a toasted Kaiser bun. You know, make people hungry, because it's a big sandwich.
Forget clouds.
What do you think about rocks?
Let me think about it.
Come try Wendy's new bacon cheddar cheeseburger.
The other day I get in my car, won't start. No small problem, right? Well, I figure it's the battery, so I go down to the AutoZone and I tell him what I need. The guy says to me, let's check your old one first. It might not be the problem. Turns out he was right. All I needed was a new battery cable. Talk about saving money. Now you tell me, would another parts store done that? They made sure I got exactly what I needed. Now I'll remember that. Believe me, I will.
Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Over the past few years, we have seen drivers sustain some significant burns to their back and bottom while being in a seat for a long, hot afternoon. And what actually happens is they perspire, and the padding in their seat will become just soaking wet. Now, this seat actually is nothing but a piece of aluminum sheet metal formed to fit the driver and bolted to the floorboard. As the floorboard heats up, so does the seat, so basically a driver can get parboiled in a hot race car on an afternoon. Now, Brett Bodine and Ernie Irvin came up with their own little contraption. It seems to work. We call it Brett and Ernie's ventilated seat. Now, show us how this works, Brett.
Certainly, Jerry. We take outside air off the B pillar with a NACA ducts with 3-inch hose, run it through a fan to keep the air speed up. Then as we come around to the back of the seat, we build a dead air space, a 1/2 inch off the seat. We formed about a 6 by 12 area, 1/2 inch deep. This allows the air to slow down. And as it does, we've drilled holes in the back side of the seat, at the driver's back, 1-inch holes, 6 of them. And this allows the air to flow through the aluminum seat, keep the seat cool, and also cool the cover and the driver's back. Works very efficiently on those hot afternoons.
Very interesting little contraption. And talking about hot seats, this was from, not too long ago when Lake Speed's car developed a fire in the engine compartment, and he jumped out, probably hoping that he had one of those cool seats. Lake's okay. He's not seriously burned in that incident. Elliott and Ernie Irvin are running up front, along with now Kyle Petty. And Dr. Jerry Punch is with the Grand Marshal of today's race, the Rookie of the Year at the Indianapolis 500 this year, Lynn St. James.
Indeed, Lynn St. James, Bob, and the owner of 31 world records. And Lynn, first of all, coming off Indianapolis, what a tremendous month for you up there. Congratulations on an outstanding effort.
Thank you very much. It was great. I had a great time, a great team. I wish it wasn't over. That was the only bad part. You know, it has to end and to keep on going.
Now, you set records at Talladega in a stock car. What about a future in a stock car, possibly a Winston Cup ride?
Well, I mean, I'd love to drive a race car, but this is great racing. And I can't tell you how many times in Indy that I kept remembering Talladega. Talladega helped me a lot in Indianapolis. So I'm thankful for Ford and the sponsors that enabled me to do the record. I wanted to do this. I tried to do this. I couldn't get a deal together, so I put an Indy deal together. So, you know, you got to be careful. You can't bounce around too much. You got to stay focused on what it is you got to do. But when you get here, you get all excited. You say, God, this will be great.
What about the future? Any more IndyCar rides coming up in the near future?
Well, in reality, 1992 is over for me. I'm working on 1993. I want to do a full season. Our sponsors, JCPenney and Agency Rent-A-Car, we're very happy with the results that we got. So we're working on putting all that together for next year. So I can get a lot of racing in before I get to Indy next year.
Lynn St. James, the Grand Marshal of the Champion Spark Plug 400, here joining us here on trackside. We've had a pretty good battle going on up front, guys.
It is excellent, Jerry. It is Irvin and Elliott closely pursued, making it a 3-car race, as a matter of fact. Kyle Petty.
Yeah, Kyle just ran him down. He came from back in 4th position, passed Sterling Marlin, and then ran this duo down as they battled up there. Kyle has a good, fast car.
Walking inside Jimmy Hens's built 66 car.
He's 28, but running right behind the first 4. And Elliott and Ernie Irvin can't seem to decide who's going to lead this race.
This is a promoter's dream. A Ford, a Chevrolet, and a Pontiac nose to tail. And here comes another Ford.
Yep, Sterling Marlin joins the fray.
We'll have pit stops coming up before too long, fellas. So, don't know.
Somebody will have to back off to go into pits. And they don't want to right now. They're really and truly trying to determine who's going to lead this thing. Ernie wants to lead. Elliott just is not going to give it away. Now, Ernie's going to slide up the racetrack. He's got it.
Yep.
Same way he did Alan Quick. He got a good back coming off the turn and just move up.
And look who's fifth. Closing in on Sterling Marlin. It's Darrell Waltrip. There they are. They're all lined up in single file now with Ernie Irvin in the lead.
Well, those few laps that they were racing side by side allowed those others to catch up.
And just before our scheduled pit stops, we'll show you an Applefield summary. Now they're running last lap. Now here comes Elliott. Kyle Petty trying to take second from Bill.
What happened is Bill saw that Ernie was running on the bottom of the racetrack and getting through the corners very well. He tried to run the bottom of the racetrack, and his car pushed. And he lost that much position, and Kyle Petty was able to take that second spot away simply because Elliott tried a different line.
And look at Darrell Waltrip. He's trying the low line. It works for him. He goes to fourth.
Now is when we really tell whose car is handling well. Now Darrell goes high, Sterling gets back under him, but once Darrell come off the turn, he'll get good traction coming off of that turn, and he'll beat him down the backstretch.
Yep. Kyle Petty has moved that Pontiac in the second spot.
Word is that Davey Allison will be pitting very soon.
Kyle Petty's coming in right now as well.
So Kyle Petty gives up his third spot, and here comes Davey Allison also. Petty and Allison both on pit road on lap number 134.
Speed limit 65 down the front stretch. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Scheduled pit stop for Davey Allison to Haviland Ford Thunderbird. We'll take a look at our crew cam on the Jackman. As they go to work on the right side of the car, jack the machine up. What looks to be only a two-tire change. One can of fuel going in. Scheduled pit stop there on the crew cam. You see him looking right to the left. He pulls the jack out, and Allison's out and away. He will be followed down pit road by Kyle Petty.
Good pit stop by both Allison and Petty, and the crew cam is being worn by Jeff Clark, the jackman on Davies.
But it had to be a better pit stop for Davey Allison's crew because they were behind Kyle coming in and get out in front of him.
There is Ernie Irvin, the leader of the Champion Sparkplug 400.
Hi. You know why Quaker State asked me to be their spokesman? Because I'm tough. Quaker State is tough. Tough on wear and tough on sludge. If you use Quaker State in your new car's engine, they'll guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. Quaker State is one tough motor oil. So naturally they ask me because I'm tough. You don't think it's because they think I'm oily?
If you've been unable to get credit due to bankruptcy or past credit worries, divorce, poor economic conditions, medical problems, or loss of income, Copeland Toyota Volvo's Clean Slate program could let you drive home in any make or model, new or used, car or truck you desire. And because this program is through a credit reporting bank, you'll be rebuilding your good credit at the same time. Call Scott Mason today and turn a temporary problem into a permanent solution at Copeland Toyota Volvo on Mercury Boulevard in Hampton.
Redskin fans, go for it. Great Atlantic Travel and Tour operates special group tours, and you drive trips to the Washington Redskin home games. Trips include NFL game ticket, one night's lodging, a visit to the Smithsonian, Laurel Racetrack, and optional motor coach transportation. One-day trips available on selected dates. Be at RFK Stadium in person to see the Redskins. Call early to reserve the game of your choice. Call Great Atlantic Travel, 804-422-9001. That's 804-422-9001.
It's been one heck of a ride.
Chicago's Frank Thomas, shunned by the All-Star team, is now taking it out on the American League. The White Sox face Roberto Kelly and the Yankees live on America's Game of the Week, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Back at Michigan International, and we've seen some pit stops now in the last few laps. Here is the leader going on to pit road, Alan Kulwicki. We thought we were 2 or 3 laps away from pit stops, but everybody's come in a few laps earlier than predicted, including Alan Kulwicki. He's pitted way down toward turn number 1. Brings the Hooter